This seems impossible in a handheld. We've had this thing for a month and you haven't let me play with it? Guys, this is excuse me. It's the GPD Win 5, and it is the handheld that Microsoft and Asus might have built if they had an absolutely unlimited budget. Oh my goodness. It's a little heavy. Heavy in performance. This thing is, I kid you not, anywhere from double to triple the performance of the Xbox Ally X, depending on the power profile that you run it in. Even the power adapter is heavy. With performance, boom! 180 watt power adapter. But guess what, friends? You're gonna need it because the battery on this thing is a detachable 80 watt hour affair. Like seriously, I think that's about on par with what's in my laptop. And that's not the only thing they've got in common. This handheld uses the same Strix Halo chip from AMD as in the Framework Desktop investment disclosure. That means up to 16 Zen 5 CPU cores, up to 128 gigabytes of LPDDR5X memory, and up to Radeon 8060S graphics. If you guys remember my first experience with Strix Halo, I was blown away by how powerful it was, and it was in a convertible tablet laptop thing. In a handheld? Has GPD lost their minds? The answer is yes, but more about that later. This thing has so many industry firsts. It has an SSD format that I've never seen before. It's got a joystick technology that I've never seen before. It's the first device I've ever seen with a battery like this, and I feel like it merits a longer term review. So we're gonna do the unboxing, we'll give you the first impressions, and then I'm gonna be dailying this for at least a month to give you the full goods. That's the quickest of quick start guides. Truly excellent work, GPD. How to adjust VRAM size. Because that's the kind of concern you have when you rock Strix Halo. So that 64 gigs is shared between the CPU and GPU. You can allocate it pretty much however you like. Asterisk. Ultra low TDP configuration. It can do up to 75 watts. That's where you're gonna get some of those bonkers performance numbers. But you can go kind of as low as you want, though we wouldn't recommend going under about 17. By that point, you start to taper off so much that you might just be better off with a less expensive handheld. Most of this is just a physical overview, so why don't we just do that since we've got the device right here? Classic GPD. Check this out. This must be for the SSD tray. Holds a PCIe Gen 4 SSD, doing multiple gigabytes per second. The only drawback is that there's only one manufacturer by Win. So we're gonna have to get our hands on one of those for the full review. All right, I'm gonna leave the battery off while we do the physical tour, just cause it's heavy. Let's start at the top. Hall effect 2-stage triggers, so you can decide if you want them clicky or if you want them triggery. Classic clicky shoulder buttons. Up top, we've also got a 3.5mm jack, USB Type-A port. That's actually pretty nice to see on a handheld. Usually they're Type-C only, as well as a barrel jack. Damn. I was kind of hoping there'd be a separate input jack on the battery itself, because then you could kind of like charge your spare and then reload and be ready to go. But because there is no internal battery, you'd kind of have to shut down to swap your battery anyway. Realistically, what I suspect most people will do is use this battery umbilical cord. This is included in the box. It just wasn't in ours because it's an early unit. So the way this works, put that on there, like that. Wow, okay.
You think most people are gonna do this?
I think most people is doing some pretty heavy lifting here. Then you put this, and then at least you can take the weight of the battery off of the unit. It still weighs almost as much as an Xbox Ally. We're only 100 grams shy.
Yeah, just put that in your pocket.
Listen, hey, depending on your pockets, hold on, don't mind me. I've just got these cargo pants from lttstore.com. Boom, just like that. Oh, that's pretty sick, not gonna lie. I feel pretty cool right now. Where the mobility argument falls apart is this power brick. I mean, I guess I could put it over on the other side. The good news is that you only need the 180 watt brick if you want to super fast charge it. We got
2 hours.
2 hours, yikes. Past the barrel jack, lots of ventilation up here for a pretty innovative sounding cooler that they're calling Frostwind. It features a titanium aluminum alloy fan blade design, not to mention thickened purple copper heat pipes. Not sure what I was expecting at the end of thickened purple, but copper heat pipes, that was probably it. Did I already say that this is USB 4? Therefore you could connect an external GPU if you really wanted to. It can do 100 watts with USB PD, but of course your charging will be pretty slow if you're using it. Next to it is a recessed reset button. That's an inconvenient choice.
It's a BIOS reset.
BIOS reset. Like if I'm like overclocking and tuning, I can reset my BIOS? That's wild shit. We got micro SD. I know, I just said suck it micro SD, but we still like you on weekends. The bottom, we had that SSD tray, another USB-C port. Love this, love to have both top and bottom capabilities. You heard it here first, the Win 5 is very versatile lover. No, seriously though, this one is not USB 4 though. This is USB 3.2 Gen 2, 10 gigabit per second. Now let's have a look at the face. She may not be just a pretty face, but she's got a pretty face. Hold on, I might need to put the battery on. Oh yeah, hey, there's those aluminum, titanium, millennium fans. Also, R4 and L4 buttons back here. Okay. Good job. It kind of looks like a monstrous PSP with a giant tumor on the back, hey? Does the power button have a fingerprint sensor?
It sure does.
Very nice, got that biometric authentication. Let's fire this bad boy up. Also on the front, we have a type of joystick that I'd never heard of before. Capacitive joysticks. So that doesn't mean capacitive surface on the top for like switching between gyro aiming, like on the new Steam controller. What that means is that there's a piece of plastic in the other end, and then you've got a completely contactless sensor mechanism around it that detects changes in voltage as the little plastic piece swings and moves around. Basically, in a nutshell, it's supposed to be maybe even better than TMR, which is kind of mind-blowing how we had zero progress on joysticks since the Dreamcast, and then all of a sudden there's like all this innovation. God, they're smooth. I mean, they touch nothing, right? So there should be no drift, and apparently the dead zones are like very small. Pretty decent feeling D-pad. I wouldn't say that your diagonals are gonna be the easiest to hit, but if you don't mind the more arrowy style of D-pad, yeah, I don't, I like. Moving down, we have a back button. I assume it goes back. Home button, probably takes you home. Current window / desktop. So select, start, desktop, keyboard. We've also got volume controls and, ooh, menu, which is the Xbox button. Okay. Yeah, I can work with that. I can't wait for this to get the Windows Xbox full screen gaming experience thing. You can actually like hack it in now, but we haven't because unboxings are, you know, supposed to be based on the out of the box experience, but I'm definitely gonna do that for the longer term review.
Yeah, one more button.
Oh, apparently there's one more button. Well, this isn't really a button. This is a mouse. How cool is that, right? But basically it's a little optical sensor. And so instead of being, you know, having a mouse that you move over top of a stationary surface, you move the surface over top of a mouse sensor. As you can see, clearly, not the greatest thing in the world, but it can be better than using your joystick for a Joy to Mouse. Or you can just use Joy to Mouse if you really want. And you can actually toggle that right up here. Just hold that down and you can move your mouse ever so slowly. Don't worry, you can adjust that if you really want. And then I assume these are my clicks. Oh, they sure are. Beep, beep. Before we fire up any games, this is a perfect time to talk about the screen. It's 1080p, 500 nits, 120 hertz, and does support variable refresh rate. I can't say for certain that it's the same screen that's in the Ally Xbox or the Xbox Ally X, but the specs are sure very similar, and we achieved just over 500 nits in our real world testing. Please tell me this has tape to tape on it. Oh, and now is the perfect time to talk about our sponsor.
Dbrand. Hey, want your gadgets and gizmos to be the belle of the ball? Well, now's the time. Dbrand's Black Friday sale is on now. Save up to 50% site-wide, which means now you can afford those shiny stickers. Ooh, shiny! Score 40% off of Ghost and Grip bundles with Kill Switch kits at $45 off. And just when you thought the bell couldn't get any bellier, Dbrand is throwing in a free deck of cards with every order. Wow, check them out at the link below.
Actually, wait, before we run the game, now's the perfect time to talk about one more thing, and that is motion assistant, which really is not what it sounds like it is. See, unlike some of the other handheld makers, GPD does not have a super slick overlay interface for interacting with their devices. Like you are going into the BIOS or you're opening up this jank ass looking utility.
It's got themes.
Ew. That's nice, John. Is this the Windows 98 theme?
More like 3.1.
There is a lot of really cool stuff that you can do in here with respect to power limits, CPU boost, fan speed control. You'll just have to figure out how the frick to do it. You can configure so much in here, you can even configure things that don't work. So you can see there's two different TDPs, a plugged in AC TDP and a not plugged in DC TDP, but not plugged in actually caps at 45, so we'll be running 45, I guess. FPS limit, okay, all cores auto. Oh, you can set a maximum CPU frequency. That might help you conserve some of your power limit for your GPU, for instance. Start gyro simulate. Woo! Cool, let's just not do that anymore for now. Whoa, listen to them fans. They go, man. They're goers. Already, I like the button layout better than the Xbox ROG Ally X that has other buttons and joysticks in the way of your ABXY. These are like kind of critical for gaming. It's so flippin' heavy. Ergonomics, not bad though. Got a nice little rounded business here. Wow, that fan though. Is this a custom fan curve, John?
It's probably the defaults, but you can turn them down when you're at that 45 watts if you are okay with it being a little bit hotter.
God, this is sick. Dude, it's so smooth. This seems impossible in a handheld. And it is, because I can't actually support the weight. It's hand, but it's not really held. Holy crap. And this has gotta be at higher settings than I'm used to running out on handhelds. Like there's reflections everywhere and stuff. Okay, I wanna know what it's running at, you guys. 1080p, okay, that's already pretty cool. Dude, this is on like medium. That's insane. The craziest part though is how smooth it's running. This has gotta be like, I'm afraid to say a number so high because it seems like it couldn't be right, but this has gotta be like 80 FPS. I'm gonna say 90, I'm gonna say 90. Damn, I should have stuck with my first guess. We're around 70 FPS, but I mean, that's what variable refresh rate will do to you. It'll be really good and make things seem smoother. And it especially helps it feel smooth when your FPS is super consistent. And we're hovering between about 62 and 72, which is enough to make variable refresh rate feel really good. Is this joystick not working? Are we back to mouse control? Damn it, we're back to mouse controls. Yes, I will reconnect my controller. There. Now let me control. There we go. All right. Wait. What the hell? I can't steer. Am I missing something here, folks? All I can say for sure right now is, oh my gosh, this performance is absolutely incredible. But you are going to need some crazy speakers to overcome this fan noise. Not bad. Front facing. I really am not happy with not being able to use my joysticks right now. Okay, I'm gonna relaunch the game one more time. Man, that fan though.
And just think, you're only at 45 watts right now.
Whoa, yeah. And the exhaust air is freaking hot and it's everywhere. That's one of their claims about the cooling design, is that it's like uniform something. So that's cool, I guess. Hey, there we go. Now I can drive. Can you adjust your dead zones in this game? Oh yeah, dead zone. Whoops, whoops, oh God. Apparently this shouldn't be a thing with the finished units, but for now, I do have to have a little bit of an inner dead zone. Either way, let's try them as they're running right now. Oh, that's nice and responsive now. All right, now I suck donkey butt at aiming with controllers, but let's still give it a shot. Dude, even as they are now, with the dead zones I had to configure, these just feel so smooth. Now, to be clear, there is some aim assist, obviously, but even getting it close enough can be a problem for me, often. The craziest part of what we just saw is that was at 45 watts, and the labs tested it up to 75 watts. So here's a preview of the kind of performance you can expect of this thing. We're actually gonna have an accompanying labs article to go along with the short circuit, and then maybe we'll do even a little bit more testing when we do the full LTT after I've had a bit more time with this thing. It clearly has some drawbacks, but if you were looking for the deluxest of the most deluxe handhelds, I mean, this is it. This is the all bells and whistles. For now. I kind of wish the battery could kind of, you know, kickstand or something, you know? That'd probably be kind of janky though. Subscribe to Short Circuit.